And then you can actually take it and drop it onto the map of where you want it.
I didn't know that. No, her kids are sick.
Did you see the pool costs of that per year
What?
in
Oh,
Roselia?
look at that, and see what it says.
$58,000 a year it says to run that pool.
How much?
58,000. That's a lot of money.
It is, pools aren't cheap.
Cause of heat in the water,
Maintenance, heat in the water, chlorine,
paying somebody to be there.
paying the people to be there, the lifeguards,
Oh, yeah.
chemicals, testing, I mean, there's a lot of repairs.
Yeah,
Not
some
cheap,
pools are massive
and that's an
investments.
18 pool.
Yeah, insurance on it.
Yeah, insurance. Unfortunately, as the pool gets older and older, it requires more and more upkeep and it costs
Exactly.
more. One of the reasons why I think everybody decided not to do them.
It's more than $8,000 for chemicals for that
Thank
pool.
you.
I'll tell
Yeah.
that much. Cause when I had that pool, it was over $8,000.
Yeah, yeah, and that's not a big in-ground
I
city
don't know
pool.
where they're getting their. Yeah, cause I had that pool for almost 10 years and I know how much that was. Repair and maintenance, everything goes down in there.
And our chlorine costs out here have increased dramatically.
For the well?
Yeah.
This is just a one page.
Hi, Michael.
How's it going?
Good, sir. Welcome to Malden. You haven't been here for a while.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bite.
Well,
You don't know, it's the sharp ones you're afraid of.
that's right.
I kinda stink, so I'll sit over
You
here.
stink?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we smell stink. The food bank.
Oh, that's, you don't believe that, so that was 2 people actually.
Yeah.
It was rough, and so I just cut it off on her.
Okay, all right.
I guess. Cause it's only 45.
Are you guys gonna have public comments today?
No,
No public comments?
no public.
How do
comment.
we redress our government then if you guys aren't gonna answer emails?
Tonight, this is a business meeting, and we're gonna have no public comments.
Okay, is that, okay, alright.
That's-
Was that a voted on choice by the whole
That
council
was-
today?
That's an executive decision that I can make myself.
Oh, interesting, okay. Is that as the town administrator or as the mayor?
That is the mayor.
As the mayor, okay.
The only thing that I think we need to make sure we follow, we can't vote on anything tonight.
No,
There's no voting tonight,
there's no more voting. We will have one item that we will vote on.
right? What is that?
That is, whether we will be able to meet the building requirements for your building.
Okay, that is not, yeah, that's fine. There's certain things you're not allowed to vote on
That's right.
if you don't have public comments.
And
Proposals.
we will not be voting on any ordinances or
Ordinances.
resolutions.
Correct, yeah. I'm just making sure.
No,
And we didn't know it was a business meeting, because it literally just said it was a town council meeting.
every town meeting is a business meeting,
Oh, gotcha.
so.
Any questions? Alright, thank you.
Is Janelle gonna be here today?
Janelle will be here by phone.
Well, that's because he probably would have injured it. That's the only reason he wore, that's it. He just needs to learn how to walk straight, he's 45, 42 years, he's got, straight foot out, he's a little bend. It's knocking down, out, when he, when I see that.
Yeah, she's doing pretty good. She, went down yesterday and they stretched her shoulder back out.
Oh, she had that, they call it a procedure,
Mm-hmm.
my cousin's had that.
That's the second one. About as many months.
Jeez.
But no, that's all good. And her
This was.
problem, unless you got it.
Oh, it is, they confirmed that.
Yeah, today.
Well, I don't think they know yet.
Matt, you here?
Yes, and this.
That's what the tree has.
Yeah, that's why the doctor, they practice medicine.
The 22nd,
No, 29.
I know, but the 22nd is
Is for
the
the-
job fair.
Well, I just read on TV.
Yeah, the Small Business Association.
Can I unofficially ask a question? Will you guys mention, trunk or treat?
Yep.
25th,
And it's from 4 till.
4 to 6. For some reason, we thought it would be darker, but it's not, like, who cares?
It'll be
Well,
fun.
right now,
I know, but we don't have it till 7, it's only 4 to 6.
well, when
Oh.
The 25th,
well, it may be dark the 25th by now.
no, they're not setting the clock back till the 2nd.
Cloud could come by.
You might be late on this. When we went to Cheney, that house that burned down, it was total loss, we
Mhm.
lost the animals.
Did
It's by the fire, by the
Did Parks say what the subject?
airport, the old airport.
It's
Yeah.
update on the
Right
pool
there.
and
And
the
it-
bridges,
I think they built it, they
Big
got
dog
it,
house.
like a trailer. And then they lost it, they just went to the town.
Oh, that's
picked
just how it's broken out.
some up, came back,
And when was this? Yes.
yes, yesterday, we drove by it at 6, and there was smoke in that hill.
Yeah, and then I wanna make a comment after that.
Okay.
I thought it'd be down to the ground by the time we came back home.
And was it?
No, they had, must have been 10, 12 first responders and sheriffs and
Trucks?
trucks. It was so dark there, you couldn't really see, all you could see was flashing lights, and that was about 5 to 8.
In the morning?
No, 2
Wow.
hours.
See the name of the
We
people.
did, I just
Also.
went to
I don't know.
Cheney.
I was.
Hi, Janelle.
The same.
All right, you're a couple minutes early. Good job.
Everybody there?
Danielle will not be here, her kids are ill still, so kids are
I read it.
germ factories.
Oh, I know.
Would you like a copy of the agenda?
Sure.
Thank you.
I would've given one of those kind of skinny.
That's not.
Yeah, I'm just quoting him,
That's right.
right?
Yes.
I'll have to
What
look
part?
on my brother since
No,
that already
I mean,
happened.
Yes.
yeah, it's just
Okay.
part of it. I can get something bigger than Diana, but.
Okay, now here we go.
That
Call this meeting to order, town council, meeting, October 14th, 2025 at 7 p.m. We have the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Janelle,
Yes, I'm here.
Bob,
Present.
Lori. Here, hon. Scott. And, we need a motion to excuse Danielle for illness.
Motion to excuse Danielle for illness.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approval of the agenda,
Motion to approve agenda.
Second.
moved and seconded to approve agenda, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, approval of minutes for September 10th, 2025 regular meeting.
I motion to approve of the minutes for September 10th, 2025 regular meeting.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the September 10, 2025 minutes, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, approval of the special council meeting, September 17th, meeting minutes.
I move to approve the minutes of the special council meeting, September 17th.
Second.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the special council meetings, minutes on September 17th. All in favor?
Aye.
Lori, did you, I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Announcements, Bob?
Okay, food bank will be open on October 22nd, noon to 2. November and December, a little bit different, will be open the first and third Wednesdays of the month. So November will be November 5, November 19. December will be December 3 and 17. We've posted that several times, and all year long we gave out the schedule for the whole year. So hopefully everybody's informed on that.
Okay.
We'll tell them again at the meeting on the 25th, the food bank on the 22nd.
Okay. We want to thank Costco Spokane Valley for our flag. They donated it to us when they were here for the building dedication for the community building. And so I finally got there and picked it up. On the 22nd, small business meeting will be held in the community building. Do you remember what the time of that was?
It's in the evening, I wanna say it's from like 5:30 to 7, but there is a flyer on Facebook that has all the times.
Okay, as per flyer. Also, on the 29th, here in the town hall, State Parks will be having a trail update, which will include the updates on timeframes, and they'll be talking about the bridges. So, we've been waiting a long time to hear about that, and I am anxious to hear. Committee reports, LTRO.
Well, Fall Festival was kind of a dud. We didn't have that many people show up. And other than that, we didn't have a meeting last month, so we had a meeting tomorrow night.
Okay, how many people did you feed?
Probably between 60 and 70.
Okay,
We had food for 250,
ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
so it's kind of a bust.
Okay. Park committee.
I There's no new updates on the park committee. We didn't have a meeting recently, and we're still just working on getting the covered shelter and moving forward with the baseball. Grant.
Okay. Update on, old business, update on the water system. I spoke with TD&H today, and, the engineers got together with them, and, they're basically gonna redesign or refine the electrical system. Because in the last 2 years, there has been, technology updates that we didn't include in the first. So now we'll be able to include them now. That meeting will include Ernie and John for sure, because they'll be part of it. Also, the, funding for the Avista transmission line will go to, TIB, they will approve it, and then we will send the check to, Avista. It's just a flat fee, there's just the way it is. So, and that's all under the, Public Works Board, no, that's not TIB, excuse me, that's Public Works Board, with Max Wedding. So, any questions, council, on that? Okay. The goal for this is to go out to bid this fall for the building and the well, to complete the project. So, sewer ordinance draft, okay. We had our public meeting, on the first. One of the things that SCJ did was they did a survey, handed out a survey, and they had 9 people return it. Of those 9, 7 of them preferred to require all properties existing and new within 200 foot of the centralized system to connect, no exception. The next one was to require all properties with an on-site system that do not meet Whitman County standards or are smaller than the 20,000 feet, no exception. Nobody voted for that. Require all properties within 200 foot of the centralized system to connect, but the town can grant waivers on a case-by-case basis. There was one for that. And the other was stub outs for undeveloped parcels. We had 1 person vote for that. So that was the survey and how that came out. I just got that tonight. And we're gonna have another public meeting, we don't know the date. But council, I asked you last week and and again this week to come up with any additional ideas. I have been talking to the engineers about possibilities as well. Council, did you come up with any ideas, thoughts, desires?
The only one I could think of was the second one on there, where it was basically, if you have a operating system now that's been inspected and it's functioning according to county rules, that it wouldn't have to be connected. But it's
There's a problem with that. The only problem with that is what a definition of public functioning is.
It would have to be inspected.
It'd have to be.
It'd have to be inspected, so unfortunately, that inspection I would think would have to fall on the homeowner. They would have to get their tanks pumped, be inspected, verify that the pump down is correct, it's flowing water out like it should, and kinda like a lot of people did after the fire that actually had septic systems, we had to have them inspected.
Laurie?
The question I have, say for example, the line goes past your place and you opt out of hooking up. In the future, your system goes bad is the county going to let you put a new system in yourself, or are they going to require you to hook up to the city?
I can't tell you what the
Yeah,
county's
that's
gonna
something that concerns me.
Well, that would be more the town, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be the town controlling that, basically saying anything moving forward would require a connection if you're within 200 feet?
We're checking
And
with
that
other
also
towns.
to me would fall on if your septic or drain field, you need to replace it. You would then have to connect to the town sewer system if it's within 200 feet and incur those costs. So that is something people are gonna have to think of if we go that direction. How old is my system? Yes, it tested fine right now. Does that mean it's perfect? No. I mean, there's only so much they can test. It could die in 10 years, it could die in 5 years, you could have a problem in 5 years, 10 years, it's anywhere, 30 years. But you run that risk as the homeowner at that point, that you may now have to pay whatever these connection fees are to connect up. That was my thinking on it.
Yeah.
And that leaves it in the homeowner's hands. I mean, if you wanna run that gamble, you can run that gamble.
I mean, the county's been pushing for years to have a centralized septic system in this town. So, I mean, are they gonna let you, for example, put a new system on your property? Or are you going to have to hook up if there's a line going right by your house?
I think that would be the town, wouldn't it, that decides
I
that?
don't think the town would have, well, the health
Because the
department has
county,
to
the county
inspect it.
allows septic systems now.
The
You
town
can
follows
install-
all, and everything that we do is following Whitman County Health Department rules. This idea of, not the idea, but the requirement to have 20,000 square foot to have a septic system. That is what really brings in, a requirement that is state law,
Yeah.
state code. If you've got 20,000 foot, I don't know whether the town or the, county made that decision. There's always a possibility that the town can issue waivers. But whether the county would issue waivers, that's all up to the county.
And we'll have to look into that further, because how I thought of it and how I've read online is that pretty much falls on the town. If the town is putting in the sewer system, it's not mandated by the county. And there's still allowing septic systems in here. Why would that be blocked by the county? That would be blocked more by the town. The town would make that rule to say, at this point, we are cutting any future septic OSS systems off.
And that's just something I wanted to clarify.
Yeah, we need
Let
to
the
definitely
people
look
know.
into it,
Yeah,
but from what I read online, that's what I kinda get the gist of.
Laurie?
I'm agreeing.
One of the things that I spoke with Janet Cherry, our engineer this afternoon. And one of the things that we do, Malden's a little unique because there was a number of new systems put in directly after the fire. And that met county specifications. For example, a 2-bedroom house, 300 foot, drain field requirement, whatever it was. One of the things that was brought up was allowing those folks to bypass, and then at that time, they could, at their discretion, put a stub in for future connection. But and there's a possibility of doing that with vacant lots as well. That would encourage folks to, as they build, connect to the town. With that, there would be a fee that goes on that, such as the same as our standby fees with the water. Our water bills are $54 a month, and I think standby is $26. And so that could be $30 for a standby fee, $25, don't know, but it was something that was suggested. And what I'm doing is giving you guys the information that I've received in the last bit. So, there's some towns, and there's ecology that's lurking in the background. I know for a fact that ecology has come to the town and demanded us put in a centralized system for quite a few years. Now is the time, you know, if the town's ever gonna do it, we have the funds to do it and move forward in phases. We know we've got the $5.6 million to go forward with phase one. There's a 99% chance that we will have phase two, another 5 point whatever, forgivable loan, and we'll know by January, February, whether phase two is funded or not. If phase two is not funded, you just keep going on phase one until phase two is truly funded. We've never wavered on what we want for the citizens is, as we're building it in phase one and phase two, for them to have no costs. From their house to the line is to be paid for the rent. We made that stipulation day one, and we've stuck right with it. And nobody's argued with us on it. So that if you opted and you've got a new system, I'm guessing, I don't know.
I do not, so I'm probably gonna opt in on it. I'm just playing devil's advocate with everybody.
Well, okay.
I'm trying to think of everybody in town. More than likely, I will connect. My system was there before I moved into town, and that was 20-some years ago, 22, 23 years ago now. And I pulled the county records on it, and the only records they have on my system is when I had it tested after the fire.
Yeah.
Which means my system predates my neighbor's system because they have records of that, because I own that property now. And they had records of that, and that was in the 90s. So if mine's not in the records in the 90s, I'm assuming mine goes back to the house that was there probably in the 70s, the old manufactured home that used to be up there. I'm assuming mine goes back to then. So I'm more than likely gonna opt in because my system is looking like 50 years old right now.
Sure.
You know, so.
Let's use yours as an example. Say you did have one that was placed in or built in right after the fire. You incurred that $15,000 or $8,000 or whatever dollars. The town could issue a waiver for that because there's a documented design with the county that says, okay, we've got a 3-bedroom house, we've got 450 foot of drain, there's a 1,500 gallon tank, and we'll approve that. That's the good part. The bad part is, just like you were talking, in the future, the council may say, if yours, or the county, may say, your system's not working anymore. You go to the county if you want to get it replaced, and the county says, you have a system in town. And I think that the county leans that way. I'm trying to remember conversations. But let's use a little bit of math. I know that right now, a new system in good soil will cost $15,000 to install. We've got a brand new cost estimate on that. Now, for example, if we get 80 people in town, 80 residences, or a combination of 80 residences and people that stub in for a future connection when they build, to meet that would cost, at $46 a month, it takes 27 years to equal $15,000. And that's just a straight $46 a month. That's not any interest or anything else if you had to go borrow the money. So you think about that, I can get a brand new system now, or take a chance on my system, and knowing that it takes 27 years to meet that cost.
Yeah, and that's the way I was thinking of it too. It's just, I think people deserve that choice if they have a functioning system that currently meets Whitman County's guidelines. You know, whether it's 2020 or 2010, if they had put in 2010, as long as it meets their guidelines and it's a functioning system according to testing, why would we force them? I understand it lowers the price for everybody,
Yeah,
but if I have a system that was built in 2015 and it meets that standard and I'm willing to roll the dice on it, I may not wanna have to pay that 40, 50 bucks a month to connect to sewer when I have a functioning system.
yeah, but it's your
To give
town.
everybody else the lower rate.
What some other towns that we've investigated have done is once their grant system is completed, and if they do let somebody go by on a waiver and their system fails, then it's 100% their cost
Correct.
to connect in the future.
Yeah, and that's the gamble you play.
And that's the gamble you pay.
As a homeowner, property owner,
Yeah,
it's a gamble.
it is. But I'm not 100% in favor of a mandatory entity. That's just, you know, engineers, regulatory people want that definition so that they can say, okay, we have a town that is 100% protected for water quality. For the creek, you know, we're a long ways from the creek, but they've done studies before.
Malden has high nitrate levels. We have for a long time, and they contribute a lot of that to the septic systems.
It's 100% to the septic system.
There's
one thing that-
things like that leak, bad systems that are leaking. We have a high nitrate level, and that's why they want us to do it.
One of the reasons that town council, took animals out of the town, reduced them down to very few, was the nitrates. And John can verify this, he came to the council, nitrates were creeping up right to the hot top limit. And council reacted, and because of that reaction, the nitrates did decrease. So,
Yeah, I mean, and those nitrates go to your groundwater. That's what we're drinking.
Yeah.
It's not even really the creek, it's the groundwater, the aquifer underneath us. So, I mean, it's a good thing to go to that kind of a system that's functioning. It's just where we cut it off and what's best for everybody.
well, and that's the whole purpose of it, is what's best for everybody. You know, it's a matter of, you can look out for but you also have, as residents, you have responsibilities, for the county. So, I asked Janet to, go ahead.
How do they test, like, to see if the system is completely functioning properly? Is there a way to know for sure?
Yes. I can tell you that, and Ernie was there when you did it, because we tested the town, septic up where the single wide trailer was.
Yeah.
Well, we had to test that to make sure that it would handle the drains from the community building. And I don't remember how they did it, but they pumped a bunch of water in it and filled up the tank, basically, if I'm correct me, or tell me how they did it.
They time it as it runs out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
It was a time event, you know,
As to how empty.
yeah, how fast it emptied.
But nothing's 100%. There's
Nothing's
no
100%.
guarantee that system's 100% functional still.
Oh,
It
yeah.
just meets their guidelines of that pumping down. And
That it would
certain
do
amount
it.
of time. Yeah.
But you remember that the county gave us all kinds of leeway right after the fire. After we got the initial funding, or applied for the initial funding, to Senator Murray and McMorris Rogers, the county gave us leeway on how soon or what they had to do to test it so a person could bring a double wide or a new home in. So,
And doesn't the ground all over the town, like, allow different drain fields and that type of thing, depending on what the rock is? Like, if it's sand, it's better. If it's the rock, then it has to be much bigger.
it has to be much bigger and it also has to be an expensive system. If you're dealing with rock, like a lot of the ones on the west end of town are, it could cost $25,000 to $30,000 easily to put in a system. And that's not my numbers, that's numbers that have been given to us by contractors that have given estimates. And that particular one was a year old, and so I can't imagine it's gone down,
Probably not.
so.
Yeah, if you have to go on one of those sand mound systems,
Pardon?
those sand mound type systems,
Yeah.
they're like 30 grand, yeah.
Yeah,
They're not cheap.
no,
No, they're really expensive.
Like at my place, remember when we had to follow those rules that you said? And they went in there and they did the tank and all this stuff and it was good. But they put a new drain field in for me. So, but I got landed back. That, could I put, the water connection there and not put it into my house?
I don't know. I really don't know. The goal in all the main lines, all the lines are for the lines to go into, alleyways.
To alleyways?
In alleyways, and the reason being is the majority of homes, have their septic system out the back into their house.
Mine's
That's,
off to the side of my house.
well,
Yeah,
but
but the alleyway's right here, and my house is right here.
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
that's what was discussed. And there's two reasons for that. We can put drain lines in the alleyways without tearing up new roads,
I understand that.
so, that's one of the advantages to do that. And the majority of the houses, especially up on the hill, are like that. So, but they're still working on designs. Today, they dug 10 test pits. 14. So the number they gave me this morning at 9 o'clock was inaccurate.
I said 14 this afternoon.
Well, that's good. And they tested those. I'm assuming they did. But they'll have to dig them back up after they do the analyzation of the test pits. Then that's gotta go to Department of Health, and then they'll come back and redig them again. So, some of this doesn't make any sense for me, but that's just the way it is.
And a huge part of our problem is that the lots are too small, correct?
That is a large part of our problem.
Okay, so one of the candidates that's up for a council seat talked about shared septic systems between a couple of houses. Is that something that could
Cluster
potentially
systems.
be?
That'd be a cluster type system. We've investigated cluster type systems, and that's one of the options, and the council voted for the large on-site system. But we're still in design stage.
Right.
Now's the time to be asking those kind of questions. So, we're getting closer, but You know, the biggest hangup right now, or the biggest question in my mind, is how to write the ordinance to meet the needs of Malden. And, that's the biggest thing. Because this is, for example, I speak with other councils, or other towns, mayors, and I know that, Chico's gonna be going through and, applying for grants for another $10 million, to meet, or to get their system to meet water quality standards. Now, they're a little more different because they're right on Hangman Creek. But at this time, they're moving forward with the idea that the citizens are gonna be, paying for that. And that's a horrible, horrible thing to do. As long as you can get grants and cooperate with the state, you're better off.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who has $15,000 to $30,000 just sitting around doing nothing?
Well, nobody I know. So, anyway. Any more things, council? What I'm gonna do is we will write this up for tonight. I'm gonna send this section of it to, Janet Cherry with Eastern Research Group and to Scott. There's things that we wanna do that the state law won't let us do. I know that, but I can't tell you tonight which ones are and which ones aren't. I know that the further you go into the future, the more tight water quality standards are gonna be. When I started at the district in '07, there was one set, and by the time I retired 11 years later, they tightened them up twice. And, so that's just something that people have to understand is, ecology doesn't, when they come in and they put their hammer down, they don't ask questions. So, anyway, all right, we'll move on. We had a discussion about continuing comments after Facebook Live, and it was previously tabled. What's the desire of the council tonight? You have to make a motion to bring it out of being tabled. That's one option. Another option is to leave it tabled. That also requires a motion. So those are two options.
Well, I'll make a motion to leave it tabled.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded to leave the discussion about Facebook Live tabled. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. We have one building plan to review. Scott Schaff handed the council a picture, and it shows the setbacks and from the front and from the side. Remember that this is a letter that goes to the county, saying that this building project meets the setback requirements of town.
I'll make a motion to give Scott the letter of approval for this building plan.
I second it. It's been moved and seconded to send a letter to the county that it meets the setbacks of the town of Malden. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I have to abstain from that.
Thank you. We have a majority. Motion passed. Warrants and approved checks, 8218 through 8232, claims 16,254.71, payroll 3,342, total 19,596.88. As staff, as finance committee and council reviewed.
Yes. I'll make a motion to accept the warrants and approve checks as written.
I second it.
Moved and seconded to approve the checks and warrants as written. All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Motion carries. Staff reports, clerk.
I've just been working on things in the office, grants. I basically put it on the agenda. You can see everything I've been working on. If there's anything on there you guys want to ask me about, feel free.
Okay. Council has any questions to ask the clerk?
No.
Okay, fire department.
I don't have much, just we meet the first and, third Mondays of the month at 6:30.
And what's gonna happen tomorrow?
Pump testing on the engine and Rosetta.
And the 28th, 29th?
That's the ladder testing, I believe.
Okay.
We're trying to get everything done to hopefully at least keep our insurance rating the same in town, or maybe get it a little lower. So we're working hard at getting things done.
Rate for council's information, the rating bureau comes, and the reason to have them all in the fire department is to keep our rating with the state, meaning the state gives the rating to insurance companies, and the lower the rating you have, the better probability you'll have better reasonable insurance rates. When I first came, when I started at the fire, as fire chief, we were 10, 9.8, and they rounded it to 10. We got it down to 8 when I was there. Chad got it down to 7. And I believe that's where we are now, 6.5 to 7.
Currently, it's 6 point something, yeah.
Yeah, and they round up, they don't round down. So, and being how we are more than 5 miles from Rosea, if we didn't have a fire department, our insurance would drastically go up.
Correct.
So,
And along that line, we're always looking for volunteers, because if we drop below a set number of volunteers, we're no longer recognized by the rating bureau. In which case, it's just like we don't have a fire department.
so
so how many do you have now, Scott?
We got 14 right now. We're pretty good right now.
Right.
Yeah, I think we got 14.
so that's good. Council comments.
Couple
Once your
retired.
comes back, I'm gonna be on it.
You'll be welcome.
I've always wanted to be a fireman.
Good girl.
Fire person.
Fire person.
Oh, fire person, okay. Yeah.
Council comments. Lori? Comment? Okay. Janelle?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that, I'm sure glad that I took on this, position to help my community, help my mom's community, help all my friends that I've met, and, sorry to see it coming to an end, but, I do have plenty of other things like focusing on my health that I've been neglecting, and, it's time for me, so, good luck to all of the candidates that are on the pamphlet.
Okay. Thank you for your service. So, Scott, you got any comments?
No, not today.
Okay. As far as mayor's comments go, The sewer is a huge decision for the town, how we write the ordinance. It's important, we need to take our time, hoping that we have additional information, and if the council gets to be ready and comfortable with an ordinance that we will present to the council, and then we'll have a public meeting, and then hopefully in December we'll approve that ordinance and resolution. That's my goal timeline. So, with that, so far, and this is up to Scott, the burn ban is still on, because it's maybe wet for a day or two, but hopefully we'll get some more rain this weekend, and be able to let it go again. So, with that, I'm glad that we had a candidates forum. And at this time, which is 7:41, we're gonna go into a 20-minute executive session. We will be back at 8 o'clock. With that, thank you, Janelle. We'll,
Thank you. I'll be back. I'll call you back.
no, you can excuse yourself for now.
Okay, I excuse myself for now. I'm going to sleep.
Okay, good night,
Good
then.
night, y'all.
Thank you.
She sounds so much like her mother.
I do have some questions for you if you're not gonna be busy with
Oh,
them.
yeah,
No,
let's
I'm not.
expand our
No.
lines.
Okay, for sure.
What's that?
I'm just seeing how they set up and what they got going on. It's filming.
I figured now would be an appropriate time more than ever because you're here. Yeah. And it seems like you just came down here kind of just to keep the peace, I feel like. So, let's make your trip worth it. Basically, I'm trying to address the council for over a year and a half. I have an envelope of documents that essentially are hidden emails that this office has kept. I basically want to make a police report with you.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have said that first.
I'm gonna look forward to
Yeah,
that.
okay.
So, yeah, what's going on?
Okay, so I'll start over. So yeah, so I want to make a police report essentially that my my rights have been severely basically just ignored / violated / abused. My main thing is I want, while I have the ability to make it on record, I want to put it on record. I wanted to make like a police report. I do have a written declaration that I planned on reading at a public council meeting, but it looks like they closed that forum. Again, kind of in the guise of stifling people's freedom of speech. This is a very unique situation where they're just not allowing people to speak. Obviously, we had 6 minutes last council meeting to address our government, and it was stifled. We were cut off early. Essentially, now we're following up. They canceled the other meeting, So I would like to just,
What other meeting did they cancel?
there was supposed to be a meeting earlier this month,
Oh,
and they canceled
on the
it.
8th or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do you know, I have no idea what all I know, they asked us to come to that meeting, and then we were told it was canceled.
Maybe they
asked us
didn't
to
have a
go.
quorum, maybe enough people weren't gonna show or something,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think that it's just a worthy note of a pattern, basically, of, them making it kind of hard to redress the government. It's on a different day, it was announced early, all that's legal. As far as I'm concerned, they can kind of do all of that, but, I wanna report the pattern, and then I just wanted to get some facts out, in like a police report or a declaration, or I guess you would say like a, what would you call that, like a
Statement?
statement, correct, and then I'm willing to sign under penalty of perjury, or if the camera is enough, I don't know, but I'm willing to rewrite the statement. I do have a pretty, like a typed up statement, so I could even sign this and then give it to you, but this is.
Is that something you can copy and paste?
Yeah, for sure, so I
So-
can follow up.
If you go to our webpage, Whitman County Sheriff's Office, on the very front, down at the bottom is statement forms. You want to copy and paste that into a statement form, it has a penalty of perjury and everything on it.
Okay,
I'd appreciate that to include
absolutely,
under penalty of perjury, but,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, and then in regards to, like arrest action, obviously, I don't necessarily think that it's an emergency situation where you would have to do that, but I would want, if it was merited for some kind of physical action, whether it be, contact by you, or whatever it may be in regards to like doing the investigation, asking them what they have heard, just the basis of the investigation. What I'm claiming primarily is they colluded with taxpayer funds to file a private ejectment with their name on the bill, essentially through a private action to eject me from my property and quiet the title on my property.
Okay.
They perjured, they used their town attorney, Rusty L. McGuire, to do so. I have evidence of their register warrant that shows payment for that action. It's a private action. They should have had no business acting in a private manner and then forging somebody else's name, which the petitioner on that action is Marilyn Jordan.
Okay.
She was the previous owner of that
Yeah,
property. And so basically what they did is they had executive meetings like this behind closed doors. The only reason I know this is because I did a public records request, and part of the records that they provided to me, and they've broken the law on that as well, but I wanna stay focused on this report. In the few records that they did provide, I was able to get registered warrant receipts of them communicating to Rusty L. McGuire about preparing for this private action. And then I have a registered warrant of them paying for that private action. It's $300 and some odd.
The town paid for it.
The town paid Rusty L. McGuire to file a private lawsuit with Marilyn Johnson's name as the plaintiff and me as the defendant. The town isn't listed anywhere on that action, but I do have the registered warrants today to show. I have copies of that to show. I can also follow up in the report with documents or file drive or whatever it may be, whatever your guys' preference is.
Yeah.
And basically,
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm super lost.
Sure,
I'm
sure.
gonna have to dumb it down for
No worries. So, and it's good to reiterate.
They tried to kick you off your property.
Yes, so, just for context, they did try to, they did file, certified mail abatement, action to try to kick me off the property in their capacity as a town.
Okay.
Once they weren't able to do that. because
What was the reason for that?
The reason for that was, off the top of my head, there was a few listed actions like, piles of wood, building material, junk vehicles, and then living in an RV, or RV living, I can't remember how it was termed. I advised them via email with a cease and desist letter not to move forward until our records request act is available, so we could verify that was an enforceable ordinance according to RCWs. They never provided those documents, so then we asked again for them to cease that action. in retaliation, the very next day, within 24 hours, that's when they filed that ejectment lawsuit, which, again, it's kind of a weird term, but ejectment essentially is a private action to remove somebody from their property. It's usually done in like it's kind of like a hearing, basically, without, what's the hearing called?
I mean, we do evictions and stuff.
So it's similar to eviction. You would get a judge order. This is what they're going for, is a judge order. The problem is that they used their funds and their motive to usurp the public authority that they have in the abatement action,
Okay.
to fraudulently and illegally file a lawsuit privately. And I have the registered receipts that they paid, and it says specifically ejectment. It references my property. It talks about Maryland and Johnson. And so, in that fashion, I ultimately, I want to make it record, and I want it to be investigated and at least passed to the prosecutor's office. And if I need to meet with them to provide more information, or if I need to have a follow-up to provide objective evidence, I'm happy to do that.
That's what
Are we addressing like fraud on the court with that?
So it's fraud on the court for sure, but we're also talking about, basically this is a collusion situation where there's multiple actors committing wire fraud, via email back and forth, communicating around how they're going to commit fraud on court. Is that what you're referring to?
Well, just the fact that the town attorney did. So he attempted to make it look like he was doing it for the previous owner, their behalf.
Yeah, that's
But what
I'm
happened,
Yeah.
yes, but what happened is that was not the case.
Gotcha.
And we know this. We have evidence to support that. So he made it not look, or made it look like it was not at the behest of the town. We have proof that it was.
Okay.
I hope that helps clear it up a little
It
bit.
does, but here's what I'm gonna say, I deal with DUIs, thefts,
Yes.
and similar stuff, not small stuff, right? This is pretty big.
This is atrocious. This has been some of the most atrocious things that Whitman County's probably seen.
What I wanna do probably, I wanna read a check to the prosecutor first.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
My goal is probably have a meeting where you guys and me sit down with the prosecutor, you kind of present it. We got a lawyer in the meeting, you know what I mean?
For sure.
And he's gonna have the answers like, that's something we wanna pursue, that's something we don't wanna
Right.
pursue, and this is why.
And we have the right to hear the reason why not, right? If that's the case.
I don't know.
Literally, we do.
I'll look into it, but yeah,
Oh, I mean, we can get that from them.
Yeah, but I don't know what the prosecutor's schedule is, I can reach out to him tomorrow and then follow up with you guys.
it would be incredible.
And
Something like this, it's hard to get traction, but once it grabs traction, it's a major deal. I mean, you recognize
just following the
that this
steps.
isn't just a standard police report, and so we're going through the steps. If you're here, I didn't want to waste your trip. We could go down to we plan on going down to Whitman County regardless. However, since you were here and we're all just standing here anyways, I'm appreciative that you activated your documenter and I'd like a report number, and then maybe I can furnish you with some of this.
for sure, I can get your report, I just gotta run up to my car and read it my dispatch.
And I don't want to distract you for whatever reason you're here for, so that's, just keep that in mind.
I have no idea why, so,
Alright, thank you.
I think probably just keep the peace and that peace.
And you can tell we're not, she's running for council, we're not, don't worry,
Okay.
yes, we're not I'm just an advocate for our rights,
Yeah.
And
Who, are you running unopposed or?
No, the person that was appointed to the seat, for this term is running again.
The one that was on the phone, or is that a different seat?
No, it's a different one, Danielle Roth, who's not here.
for children, and she unfortunately didn't know that she was running, so it was
Yeah,
There was
cause when I
2 or 3 other unopposed
ran, it
seats.
was empty,
Is
nobody's
there any
running
other,
for it.
oh, you can't switch now.
No.
No, which is weird, but
That's all
they
right.
have
You
those.
think the more people the merrier, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go get you a case number.
Thank you.
And then, I'm gonna grab your information.
Yep.
I'm sure it's in our system, but I just wanna get it so I can call you and follow up tomorrow evening. I'll be right back.
Petition is not. So they have no cameras. We have no cameras here.
They might inside there once it's open.
Yeah, but well, we're gonna have to request that camera because I don't know who took the petition off the camera. Are there other things on there? Becky Gurney, Veteran Service Officer.
It's like maybe it's just buried in something.
No, it's gone. They don't have a building bulletin board or anything.
Andy messaged me. It looks like she sent me a voice message.
You have my phone. I should just say why.
Yes, and that's one of the questions I wrote down, which you answered, about your involvement in the community last year, but you volunteered that, so, you know, talking about the Easter kids and everything. I wanted everyone else to answer because only you and Mary have done anything in the community.
Yeah.
And so I wanted them to
But
say
they
something.
even show up. They're functioning. That's what I don't get. You wanna be involved with it.
Can I give you this copy?
Volunteer.
Can I give you this copy? No, my dad, this whole,
I don't remember what it is.
it's the CR60,
Oh, I got you.
but it has a lot of the facts in it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, why not?
Yes, she won for her picture.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay,
I can run for a fuzzy one.
for me, that speaks a lot to the person and they can look beyond something that's happened, and you know.
Maybe it was past them.
Right, right.
Mhm.
She didn't like
structured questions that I got the first one of, when we were being questioned,
Yeah?
it was like, is that taking pictures right now?
It's still recording, yeah.
Oh, I was gonna swear.
Yeah,
We won't hold it against you.
Yeah. Remember,
Me about
you're the truth speaker. Remember?
I am.
Yes, you are.
We love you for that. You're
Yeah, that question is hard because how, if we're not in office, how do you know?
Get people in homes, that's it for now.
Yeah.
At least you didn't say you want to put up a Ferris wheel.
Now that might, well, no, that's a liability.
Oh, geez.
Liability.
That's true.
Take some fun out of that.
Yeah. That's valid. I think we're gonna have to go outside. They're gonna be done.
We are now at executive session. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
And move to adjourn. Second.
Moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Now we go home.
Well, you don't have to go home, you just can't stay here.
Thank you for.
Thanks, Scott. Have a good night, man.
Have a good night.
You too.
Thanks.
That's the way I look at it. Well, you could freeze the screen, make it larger.
Hey Dan, did you get that proof of service that you said you were gonna ask Rusty for? The proof of service for that lien that you placed on 313 Northeast Broadway?
I don't remember what it was.
Well, when I was in here the other day, I was speaking to you guys, and you said you were gonna ask, or you're gonna try to retrieve that proof of service.
What's proof of service?
The proof of service, you said that you were gonna ask Rusty if he had, or did you happen to ask him?
Everything that Rusty has got has been compiled and is being given to you on your first public request. There was additional things that we were unaware of, how to log things that will not be given to you in RCW, but everything is compiled and it's ready to go to you right now.
Okay.
In the next, I'm gonna say within the next 4 or 5 days.
Okay, all right, thank you. So, but I didn't include that, what I asked you for the other day, I didn't include that in that, so I asked for that just individually.
You're getting everything that we've got.
Okay.
We don't,
Because I didn't get an email back on that, or you just said, I'll look into it, I'll get it for you, and then I just didn't hear back.
we're getting you everything that you demanded, and I'm sorry, but, you're borderline harassing us, so thank you.
Okay.
Meeting's over, day's done.
Okay, cool, thank you. So just to clarify, that's a no, right? You don't,
I
This is
told
a
you
council
that,
meeting, not
that
open
all the
business.
information is being sent through public records request.
okay, all right.
So borderline harassment.
Yeah, right. Wait.
I believe so, yeah.
Or no, I do.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
All good, thank you. Here's my card.
Okay,
There's
perfect.
the case number there.
Okay, and then I'll give you these, and this is, what's nice about this is it's a declaration. It is for a case, motion, but
Okay.
it has the whole declaration in there.
Basically what'll be in your statement.
Yep, and then,
Okay.
sweetheart, if
Gives
you
me
wanna
an
hold
idea.
this, then I can sign this, cause it has a signage line on it.
Oh, perfect. Then, you know what? That'll be good enough for me. Because if I watch you sign it, that'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, and it literally has the.
Penalty of perjury.
It's, what is it, is it the
14th.
14th? I thought it was the 17th day.
Everybody needs this one.
Perfect, okay. And then I just have to ask you, everything in here true and correct to the best of your knowledge, I believe?
Yes,
Under penalty of perjury laws in the state of Washington.
It is, yes. They're succinct in page numbers, so what page number do you have?
I have page 11.
11, okay, perfect. 12, 13, 14, 15. 12, yep, 13, 14, 15. There it is, 16.
Is that the last page?
That was a part of, it's just the motion for the order, so when I submitted an order for,
So we've got-
proposed order. 11 through 16.
16, okay.
Okay.
That'll give me a little bit better idea, kind of in writing.
And this is probably not, important, but it doesn't have all the information.
Yeah.
So,
And this is what you want to do.
the direct declaration, correct, okay, yeah, and, of course, looking forward to like a follow-up where we can submit some more documents, because the prosecutor's not gonna really probably look at this unless we have hard evidence, and these are pretty gnarly claims, and so I just want to be very clear that we have very substantial
We
evidence.
have all the exhibits.
We have,
Yeah.
you know, she's basically, passionate about making sure that they're held accountable, and
Well,
so am I.
And like I was talking to her, and
Very
maybe
well
you were
done.
there earlier, but the undersheriff like really commented on how well you guys do document things. He was really
Yeah.
impressed with that.
Good,
We don't
yeah.
get that a lot.
And he's very impartial, and we appreciate the impartiality, you know, and, until we deserve different, right? So,
Yeah.
and I understand that.
Well, and I'll tell you, at some point, I'm going to start this process with
Okay.
you guys, with the prosecutor and stuff. At some point, I may pass it up the chain to one of them.
I understand.
And the reason being, not so much that it's out of my realm, but they're around all of the time during the day with the prosecutor and things like that.
Sure,
I'm
different shit,
working
kind of.
nights.
I got you. Okay.
So-
and I don't know if we've ever actually met before. I don't think we have.
I don't think so.
But I tell every officer that I make contact with out here, because of the time frame and everything that's going on out here. Like, I am a person of the community. I'm not a fire volunteer. I'm not a police volunteer, but I can help. I'm a helping hand. Just always remember that if anything
Okay.
ever comes down to it, you know where I'm at. If you need an extra hand, we're there. And I'm able to
I
help.
appreciate that. We can always use that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will go through this part.
It's a good read. It's short. It looks like a lot more than there is. So if you get bored, read it, and you'll get context.
My one suggestion I would say, and this is just me, if we get this meeting set up with the prosecutor, don't bring in 10 totes of stuff.
No.
Sure.
It'll overwhelm them.
Sure.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bring in a
just
few
highlights.
things, and
Thank you
then
for that.
Tell him that you have lots more information.
Yeah.
But if you bring boxes in, he's just gonna be like, "Oh, what did I get myself into?" You know?
Sure, absolutely. We won't do that. We won't do that. The other thing is, just for your records, you asked us before we got here if we had any inclination as to why you were called out here. I just went in there and confronted Dan, and I just asked him, hey Dan, I haven't heard back on the affidavit of service and proof. I was curious because he told me that he would reach back out to us on that. He had his reasons for declining that, but he did comment and say, this is borderline harassment. He just said that. So you know, whether or not you know, I'll acknowledge the fact that, you know, I need to leave him alone or whatnot, so that doesn't escalate. But I do have the ability to address my government. I do have the ability to talk to council members, the president. I can talk to, you know, any official person, especially if they're in a public place, as long as I'm not being disruptive. I mean, I've kind of looked into the law to make sure that I'm in accordance to that, respectfully, you know.
Yeah, I don't see
And
any issue.
so I think that's probably the reason why, is because there has been some hiding of this. I've been trying to tell the council members, there's only 5 of them, and I made 5 of these envelopes and gave it to each council person. Immediately, Bob Law called and had me trespass from his property by just simply giving him emails that he was missing out on, to try to be clear, you know, so they know that for years I've been trying to contact the city council. And so this is a part of a bigger scenario, and this collusion to privately eject us using town public funds is probably one of the biggest things that we can prove, along with a myriad of other things. But this is probably the biggest one that I would like to pursue with the prosecutor immediately, because of the substantial evidence that we
We've
have.
been quiet and
So
we've been
what
trying
did
to
you
work
ask
with
him about
them.
today, though?
I simply just asked them about a proof of service, because they fraudulently placed a lien on our property, and it's up to $7,000 at 12% interest, and I've been trying to pay them. They refuse to accept payment here in this office for the lien, and they're the filer of the lien. They falsely directed me to go speak to the auditor and the treasurer. They sent me on this goose hunt, basically, to go pay off this lien that's in their name. Okay, so I have on video record, I have videotaped them telling me that they will not accept payment for the lien that they filed on this property. So what they're doing is they're allowing that 12% interest to accrue as much as they can, so probably so they can try to foreclose on my property, which is just another way that they're trying to usurp and steal my land, which is highly, highly offensive. The main thing is that they basically needed to service the property owner, me, or Marilyn Bjornson, whomever, if they believe that she's the property owner, whatever that may be. When they filed that, they needed to have a proof of service. Well, I've requested in person maybe 2 weeks ago about that proof of service, because I'm trying to pay it off. I'm not trying to pay it off. I'm trying to prove that it's fraudulent, right? And so the last key evidence piece that I need is that lack of proof of service, or the proof of service. I've called your guys' department, the one that they would have contracted to service that piece of paper. You guys don't have it on record. I've checked with the attorney. He doesn't have it on record, and so
He was never served.
and I was never served. Correct. And so, and he's a key player in this collusion. So this administration is now fully on notice that I have been violated, my rights have been violated. No one can now say that, oh, I didn't know this was going on. That's the main thing, is action by lack thereof is action, just the same. And so, especially when you sign an oath and you take an oath to protect our rights as council people, you do that. And you do that every day, and you put your life on the line for that. And so thank you for that. But these guys here, basically, I don't want to harass anybody. I just want to exercise my full right as a citizen and make sure that this doesn't happen to other people. And we're gonna be looking for punitive damages, but that's here nor there. I ultimately just want you guys to communicate to them that if they're breaking the law, that they're going to be held accountable. Just like if I broke the law, I've been held accountable, and I did my service to the community to make that right. And ultimately, it's like, hey, let's make sure that we're not trying to steal people's property in some of the most tricky, grimiest way possible, which is you're using these people's money to litigate with us on our property.
Along with all the other
Your money
civil
too,
rights
I think.
issues that
Well,
have been
maybe not.
happening.
I don't know if you live here. Do you live in
I live in Pullman. So.
Pullman? Okay, so.
But, yeah, and my basically my take to you tonight is I got to go get my own legal counsel, the prosecutor who represents us, and before, because this is like a realm I've never really touched in law enforcement.
Yeah, and I hope that it's not so out in the field that it's like, oh, we're not going to touch it, because this is the kind of stuff that we really need to stop happening.
The only thing I'm curious about is the prosecutor may say this is more attorney general stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Because and point you in that direction
Sure.
more than just your local government.
Sure. Having that report, the police report, is the first step in that.
Absolutely.
And
you
so,
got to start somewhere. Right?
Yep. And you were
just
here,
following this.
and so get your butt in that warm
Yellow
car
Brick
and
Road.
get home, or be safe for this evening. And
Okay.
You know, so, okay.
a
Thank you
good
very
one.
much.
Thank you kindly. Have a
Of
good
course.
night.
Yep.
I got it. Oh, it's cold.